All right, everybody, what is going on? Needs more drums back in City Skylines for the next installment of our public transit series here in St. Movingsburg. Let's go ahead and just get right in and get started with the episode. All right, we're almost nearing the end of the series. Actually, we only got a couple more videos to go, just a couple things left to add. If you want to see how it all wraps up, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a like too to help push it a little bit to to a bigger audience. I would greatly appreciate it, and thank you all for the support, for all of you guys that do like and comment and have subscribed. I really appreciate it, and yeah, hope to continue bringing some new content in the next few weeks. But for now, we got to wrap this up, and I'm super excited because today is part 2 of getting our buses all set up and ready to go. So if you remember last week, we set up some inner city lines from, we started kind of over here in our inner city depot, and we had some lines that go all the way up here to our, town way out here. We got some lines to go to the town way out here, and even all the way to this other kind of main city over here, this other island area, or well, I guess not really island, but you get the point. Peninsula, whatever. So yeah, we have a lot of bus networks, and we actually even made some express lines, going from the airport to some of these other areas to get people around. Not too many stops, just to get some of these bigger destinations. But today we're gonna, focus more on some of the local lines. Probably, ones with more frequent stops that just kind of go around like these smaller areas, like, maybe one here, one here, one here, those kinds of things. Getting people, just kind of around these more densely populated areas. So also, before we do that though, I do want to go and give a quick little, city update, as I usually always like to do at the beginning of the videos. And, I spent a bit of time just kind of looking at some ways to bring some more people into the city. I know there was still a demand for residential and commercial even, but this one specifically, I wanted to show you guys some of the more, there's a lot more skyscrapers in the city, and I realized that a lot of my districts still actually had the high-rise ban on, even the ones that I really didn't want to. So I forgot that I left it on for the downtown area. So now there's some taller financial buildings. I upgraded the stock exchange. This is upgradable once you get certain gains on your investments. So we invested in a couple things, and then I have since sold those investments and made a hefty profit. So I was able to upgrade this, and then over here as well, got some taller buildings, here with the high-rise ban lifted. And actually this part of the city too, I lifted the high-rise ban on this small district over here. So we have some pretty tall buildings on the coast. I know not the best looking, but they're still vanilla, but I think it's going to help. It definitely brings some, it helps to increase the population in these areas. And same with this is actually the Heart of Korea section that I built, and some of these buildings, these commercial buildings, are actually like pretty cool. Like I like this one a lot. I like this one, so I'm glad that I did that. The residential buildings, these look actually vanilla. I don't know why they're not the Korean buildings, but rather the vanilla buildings. So I mean, is what it is. No big deal there, but we'll just deal with that for now. The city's wrapping up anyway, so who really cares, right? But anyway, so we do have to get into the bus lines now. So what I want to do first is just do a quick overview of the lines that we already have. So if you remember from last week, we have a lot. So all of these light blue lines here are the express lines, and so we have them going through pretty much all the really dense parts of the city. We got them by this train station here in the eco town. We got the stop at the university, another one by this train station in Harbor, and then one in this downtown area here, and then in the main downtown area in the transit hub. And I actually forgot that this terminal here, this ferry terminal, is also a bus terminal. So I had all the stops like originally over here, and so I have since moved them to over here. So it actually makes a lot more sense. So people can come from the rail and monorail transit hub and the ferry hub and just all get on buses right here to get around the city. So I think that is a good thing that I actually forgot about. So made that fix. And then we have these lines going over here into this other part of the second downtown, so to speak, into the inner city terminal. We have quite a few lines there. And then, of course, these ones that I was mentioning earlier with the other little town up here that go to the national park. You have an express line to the national park. And then over here, we have a couple lines that, even go out to these farther, more distant cities, including some ones that go to the airport all the way from here. So there's actually a line here that goes all the way to the airport. And yeah, we're going to leave that for now, which is really nice. Oh, also, let me just get this going. Get rid of that. But okay. So the first line, I want to focus on just making some local lines through some of these less dense areas. And again, I'm not going to go into the like the suburbs, into where people's homes are. I kind of want to keep them more along the main roads, but for right now, we don't really have anything in these areas. So I think I want to start over here in this area, and it doesn't really matter where we start because we have plenty of places to hit today anyway. But
a few moments later.
All right, there we go. I don't know why it wasn't letting me create lines for some reason. That was really weird for a second, but we're good now. All right, let's go ahead with the first one. I want to make it just kind of through here and connect up some of these areas over here. So I think what I want to do is we already have some existing infrastructure down here for some bus stops, and I have 2 lines already on these stops, and they're pretty populated. So I think for the local line, I want to have it just go kind of get off of these, close to these stops, but I don't want to make multiple, really add any more stops to those since they're pretty congested already. So I think we're gonna have, I'm actually gonna move it to this side of the road so that we can have a stop at the beach, and then we're gonna go up and around through the by the college. Actually, it might be a better idea if I can, well, I guess it doesn't really matter which way the buses are gonna take, but yeah, we'll have it stop there, and then we'll have it stop, and then I want to bring it across the bridge here and kind of connect up a couple of these areas here, because we don't really have a lot of bus infrastructure or public transit infrastructure out this way anyway. So it would be nice to do a stop probably over here, and then I do want to add one by the hospital, definitely. I think we'll have one come through here by this commercial district. Then maybe another one. I know this is a pretty close stop, and then this is probably pretty walkable. Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave that as is for now, and then I'm going to have it just kind of come back. So we'll have one here, and then we're just going to start making our way back to the other area over here, just across the bridge by the college. And we'll have it just connect back up here, I think. And that way people can kind of get from this area to this area, and people can even walk, from here. And this is kind of by this school too here, so people can walk to this school a little bit easier. This is also kind of walkable. I know it's a few blocks, but I think people can manage. It shouldn't be too much of a problem. So that's one line. And then the next one that I want to do is, we already have, I think this is covered by the express lines, I would say. I don't really think we need to do any local lines here. And plus, people can kind of pick up the express lines from these other areas as well. I think that's okay. This one is probably fine too for this area. We already have the trolley bus network. We already have this network in place. So I think that's fine over in that area. This one, I'm wondering if we can potentially have one at the ferry stop and just kind of connect it up sort of along, by this main road. Maybe bring it into this by the shopping center here, and then just maybe just even loop it into the industry so that people can get to work, because I feel like sometimes lines into industrial zones are neglected, and they shouldn't be, because people do need to get to work. And so having those lines still connect up into those areas is important. So yeah, let's do that. Let's start at the ferry line. And then I'm looking for my existing stop so I can kind of connect some of these up. So I think we'll connect one up to the stop here. And then I won't connect it to the trolley bus stop because it doesn't seem that I can even do that at the moment. But I will put it here. And then one by the store. Then we'll put another one by this That's close enough there. Going by the park. And then we'll go into the industrial zone and start to connect this back up. So we'll put one here, another one here. Now we can start bringing our way back. And hopefully there's not too many stops. You know, that should be all right. And hopefully it doesn't bring a lot of noise pollution in this area. It's probably going to not have a ton of buses on this line, but it'll definitely help getting people around over there. Yeah, this area is pretty much okay. I think that shouldn't be a problem at all. So one more that I want to do is we have this airport shuttle, but I want to have another one that kind of goes to the shops here so that if people need to stay at the hotel and need to go to the store and don't have a car, they could do that. And then I'll actually have that line kind of run through this industrial zone, you know, stop around here somewhere, and then even go into this town too to pick people up for work. And we'll just have a very little loop kind of overlapping with some of these existing express lines. But I think that will be good as well. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, that's another good line there. So we got a couple down, and now let's go over, I'll say over here, and start to connect up maybe some of these areas here. So I think I'm gonna have just kind of a loop that goes around this main road just through here like this. That way it can get people. I'm debating if I go to the stadium with it too or not. I think I might actually just kind of bring it up and around here real quick. And then we can kind of loop these two areas together, you know, if we have one here and then have another line kind of branch off over here. That should be a good plan. Let's go ahead and start with this one and just see kind of where it goes. All right, that's another one down. And as you notice, I'm trying to keep these a little bit more of point to point lines instead of just these big loops. I think it helps to kind of use both sides of the road and just kind of have it follow back the way it is. That way people can get to and from stops a little bit quicker. I think that if you have it just one direction, it takes people a lot longer to get to where they're going. Otherwise, they can hop on, go in either direction, and they can get, you know, wherever they need to much faster. So we're going to stick with that. And now let's do another local line kind of around just this area here and sort of have it connect up to this one. I think we can make that work pretty well. So as you'll see, we already have a couple of lines in place here. So I think this might be a good place to kind of start another one. So we can have this connect up to this stop. Sort of just bring this around. Definitely want to get a stop at the train station. So I think this area is pretty much good. Let's go ahead over to this to this downtown area over here. And I think so. This is where we actually have the pedestrian area where we can get some. We have some bus only roads in here somewhere. I know that we do. This one here. Yeah, I can have them, loop right in here. So yeah, so let's kind of connect this up, and I think it's gonna kind of connect by the stadium and then just kind of loop through this suburb here. And I think that should be sufficient. Actually, this one maybe even might be a little longer. I might even I'll make that a separate line, I think, too. So let's just go ahead and do that first and get this one set up through the pedestrian area. I know this one's kind of weird how it's so close here and here, but isn't really connected. I'm not quite sure a good way to get around that. I kind of like how it's going through this suburb here and then kind of comes down through here and connects up with some of the tram stops along the way. So I think this is fine, especially that people can get, if they do need to get from this museum to the pedestrian area, they could just take the tram and kind of walk. So I think that's fine for this. We're gonna just leave it like that for now. And so the next one that I want to do is I forgot that I kind of built this little area here, so I want to bring a line kind of just maybe just around here and through this industrial park, and then kind of loop back around with this train station. I think that might be all right. And then I'll have another just kind of industrial only line that maybe connects here around here, and then that'll be a little bit longer. So let's do this one for right now. And actually, I'm going to have this one make use of one of the the empty terminals here at the inner city bus station, since we have the space. And I feel like it makes a little bit of sense to do it like this. So I'm just going to come around, take use of this existing infrastructure, add a couple of stops. I think it'll help to get people to this the power plant and the waste processing facility over here. It's kind of a big area for work, so it might help get people there a little bit easier without having to drive. There's another line down, and I think I want to have something, like I said, like from this train station and just kind of around a couple of these suburbs here and into this industrial area as well. Let's actually start. I'm thinking the train station might just be kind of a midpoint in the stop. I kind of wanted to have to go from here maybe to here and just connect all this up. Let's go ahead and do that. Why don't we? So I have some express lines already set up around this area, but I don't have any really local lines set up around this area. So I do want to have one that kind of comes, through the middle. Another one that probably comes. I mean, this is a pretty well. There's a lot of access, public transit access around this area already, but I think having something that will connect up kind of straight through the middle, and then maybe down and around here by the the art museum would be good. So maybe just that'll be kind of the point here. We'll just have a little loop around here, but then link up through here and then probably just go to this terminal. I think might be not a bad idea. So let's try this out, see what we think, and then we will start this one at the ferry terminal as well. All right, so that's a good one for this area. And honestly, I think that might do it for now. I mean, I don't really see too many other places that would be in need of any more local lines. Oh, actually over here, there probably should be some sort of connection to this industry and maybe to this line over here. Maybe we can have some kind of loop here. Maybe even, nah, that would have to be a separate one to get to here. We already have that with this line. So yeah, I think I'm going to use some of these existing stops and kind of make something just that goes through the industrial area and then back down through this area kind of by the airport, just to connect this town up to some of these other lines here. And of course, you know, the good old city Skylines, I have no idea why it makes this giant loop around here when it can literally just come this way. But maybe, I don't know, maybe it thinks that's the quicker route. So whatever, we'll deal with it. I guess it's fine. But yeah, all this, I don't really want to have buses in because I feel like there really wouldn't be a need for any buses over here. This is a pretty quiet suburb. I don't really want to disturb the peace. And there's not too much to get around to here. You know, this is kind of just made for connecting the bigger parts of the city up to this area. So we're going to leave that for now. And this is all connected. This is all well connected. This is all well connected. I think pretty much everything is good. I mean, I might have a little bit too many bus lines. I think I might have gone a little bit crazy here. But we're just going to kind of see for now how they work. And I'm just going to, as per usual, press play and just do some renaming, set some vehicles, and check back in with you guys in a little bit once we get this up and running.
Alright everybody, I've let the game run for a few years in game time, just kind of had it run in the background, and while I was, you know, doing some other stuff, good way to make some money and just see if things actually work. And I think the lines are a little bit more balanced now. I had to change a couple of the buses to some, you know, higher capacity ones. Plus I realized that I was using for some of them, for the articulated buses, I was using like some really old models. So I think, for example, like if we look here at some of these lines, yeah, specifically I think this Belmont line was using like a really old looking bus, which just kind of wasn't really fitting the style of buses that I was going for in the city. So I went back and changed it, and it actually ended up changing it to a higher capacity as well. But yeah, the bus lines are getting a lot of use. I think there's still some stations or some stops, I guess, that are pretty busy and can maybe do with like a few more vehicles, but it's kind of hard to say because, you know, if there's just like one stop that's really busy, but the other ones are not, then it doesn't really justify having a bunch more vehicles just to get people from that one stop. So like, for example, for this one, you know, people can, if they don't catch the first bus, they could probably catch, you know, the second one. And so I'm not too worried about some of these. I'll check again, you know, a little bit later, and if it is still an issue, then maybe I'll go back and make some adjustments. But yeah, other than that, I think things are you know, running pretty well. I'm really happy that I added in all these lines. I think they're working pretty well. A lot of people are using them, so that's always a good sign. And hopefully it's relieving some traffic, although this is just awful because my urban planning and engineering skills are, you know, even more awful than this traffic. So we're gonna have to fix that later. But but yeah, so for now, I think that is pretty much it for this episode. We really did a lot. I really enjoyed this, and I don't know what's, oh no, looks like we have a drinking water contamination. Let me see where this water treatment, or this pumping station is. I think I may have placed it somewhere that is not good. All right, I think I may have found the issue. I think it was maybe from these small industrial buildings over here, and then I had the water pump right here. That might be what was causing it, because I noticed there was a lot of people in this area that were getting sick. Hopefully that solved the problem. If not, then we'll check back later. But anyway, yep, I think we're pretty good for the episode. In the next episode, we will implement just the last forms of public transport, and then we'll be done with the series. So got something new coming up. Stay tuned. You know, keep an eye out for what's coming next. I'm very excited to be starting something new. Been spending too much time in this city, so it'll be good for a change. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with this, and thank you all for the support and for tuning in for these videos. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Have a great week, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.